Well, it's a brisk 27 degrees out. I'm in Arcadia management area, the western border of Rhode Island, and the birds are honking. This past summer we experienced a lot of drought conditions, and this thing was barely a trickle, so it's nice to see it flowing again. Well, it's December 18th, a little under 2 weeks to 2023, so I figured I'd use this run to make a year in review. Give you a list of my running and hiking milestones for 2022. In terms of mileage for the year, I'll end the year somewhere around 1,100. Very comparable to last year, but as you can see, a spiraling decline in my overall mileage. So we'll see if 2023 will help me buck the trend or continue on my downward trajectory. Elevation wise, again, very similar to last year in terms of feet gained. Nowhere near 2020 when I was going out of my way to do hill repeats to hit 300K. And overall it reflects that, I'm spending a lot of time in the mountains, but I'm not spending nearly as much time running. Part of that's injuries, part of it's apathy. Hopefully I can find some motivation soon. All right, time for my top five adventures or races in 2022. I'm gonna cheat by starting with a couple honorable mentions. I ran a 10K trail race at Carter Preserve back in June. Last minute decision. Glad I did. I ended up coming in third. I got the pie, and I was happy with, the fitness I had to be able to push it for as long as I did. The other one I want to mention is a backpacking trip I did in August with my daughter Esri. Stayed at the Sawyer Pond campsite, and then we hiked up to the Lakes of the Clouds hut and stayed there. Went over Monroe and Washington. It's a great trip, and I'm glad she came out with me. Gate is closed. I'll take a little break for a second. All right, coming in number 5. It's going to be a backpacking trip with my buddy Pete. We did back in February through the Sandwich Wilderness. We went over Passaconaway, Whiteface on day 1, camped somewhere on the Kate Sleeper Trail, and then continued over the Tri-Pyramids and some icy climbs on day 2. Fun trip. Low, I think around 10 degrees on day 1, sleeping in the 20s, so not too bad, but just a great way to continue winter backpacking last season. It was a lot of fun. All right, coming in number 4 is going to be the 24-hour Anchor Down Ultra. So it's a 2.5 mile course in Bristol, Rhode Island. Ran back in August. You just go around and around as long as you can. I ended up doing 17 hours and 50 miles, but it was rough, as my mileage indicates over the last 2 years. I haven't been running as much, and I definitely paid the price. From mile 30 on, it was a sufferfest, mostly walking, and it really was a wake-up call that if I'm going to continue to do these kind of races, I need to train better. That said, it was a lot of fun. The format's great because you start at 7 p.m., so you're running through the night while you're relatively fresh. Really cool festival atmosphere. I highly recommend if you're interested in doing long ultra marathons. All right, back at Breakheart Pond. And number 3 is going to be a backpacking trip back in June to the Bigelows of Maine. A good group of guys. Oh, this trail is wet. Really fun trip. Tough conditions. Got progressively windier and wetter as day 1 wore on, and with temps in the low 30s, it could get dangerous really quick. So we ended up stopping at a shelter pretty early in the day, just staying there, enjoying a dry evening, and then day 2 we had absolutely fantastic conditions. Windy, but dry up on the Bigelow. So we definitely made the right call to stop when we did. Very memorable, tough, but excellent trip. All right, coming in at number 2 on the list. It's gonna be an overnight bond traverse back in March with Rob and Pete. This was a really great winter backpacking trip. We stayed at the Bigelow campsite overnight. Had pretty moderate temps in the 20s, but day 2, there was a lot of snow, so we were really going through a storm, which was actually a lot of fun. Great trip. It's awesome having the Bigelow campsite all to ourselves. You don't get that too often. Let's go in the middle of winter, but a lot of fun. Great trip. So, number 1 adventure for 2022. What else could it be? It's a trip Amanda and I took to Scotland back in May. Just a fantastic trip. I hiked the highest point in the UK, Ben Nevis. We visited incredible terrain at Glencoe, the Isle of Skye. Just a fantastic trip. We both loved it. We want to go back someday, and really kindled a desire to travel more for both of us because life's half over and barely got out in the country before. So definitely want to explore more. Definitely want to go back to Scotland, but just an unforgettable trip. We really had a great time. And if you want to see more of our Scotland trip, be sure to check out the full playlist. We have it broken down by day. So overall, a great year with some fun adventures. If I had a goal for 2023, it would be to stop the backslide on my running, general fitness, get back to a consistent running base, and the usual, add yoga, add strength training to the workout, because fundamentally I'm just not training very much, and you can see the results in these last few years of ultra marathons. I would like to not just grind and gut these races out, but to actually put in a good showing. And winter is back in the whites, so I just got a taste of it last month, and looking forward to some more winter adventures up there with some deep snow. In the immediate future, trail-wise, it's almost time for the Border Patrol Trail Challenge to start again. I did it the first year, skipped last year, but now I'm back. It's a whole bunch of trails all along the Rhode Island, Connecticut border. You run them whenever you can over the course of calendar winter. The great Liz Allen, who's the race director for this challenge, then compiles it all and ranks you based on how many you've done and how fast you've done them. Hopefully this will be a motivating challenge this winter to keep me going on the trails. Thanks for watching my channel this year. I really do appreciate it. All the people that subscribed, leave nice comments, it means a lot. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you next year.